In this video, we'll explore terrifying experiences shared by fellow YouTubers. But we want to hear from you too. We're on the hunt for real-life ghost stories, eerie encounters, and supernatural sightings from our amazing community. If you've had an experience that made your hair stand on end, send it to my email address in the description box. Your story could be featured in an upcoming video. So, turn off the lights, grab a spooky snack, and let's explore the unknown together. Happy haunting!
When I was in high school, I lived in a very big house. Being the youngest in the family, I often found myself home alone. Sometimes, my cousins would come over to play, and those times were always special. I remember one evening vividly. It was a hot day, and as the sun set, the house began to cool. My cousin came over, and I was happy because evenings alone could be unsettling. That evening, as it started to get dark, my cousin was working out in the yard, and I decided to go to the large storage room to grab a book from the bookshelf at the far end. This storage room opened into the yard where my cousin was exercising. As I entered, I noticed the room was lined with various cabinets, with the book cabinet standing at the very end. I reached for the light switch, but the light didn't turn on. Slightly annoyed, I stepped inside and let my eyes adjust to the darkness. Slowly, I made my way to the bookshelf and crouched down to open the doors beneath the shelves. It was then that I realized my cousin had stopped working out. I couldn't see him jumping up and down anymore. For a moment, I thought he might be sneaking up to scare me, a game we used to play as kids. Determined to scare him first, I kept a mischievous smile on my face. I glanced towards the entrance and saw someone moving slowly behind two cabinets. I thought it was my cousin, marveling at how silently he moved. When I turned back to see where he had moved between two closer cabinets. Still smiling, I was preparing to jump and scare him when I felt someone standing right behind me. This was the moment I decided to turn around and scream. But when I turned, my smile faded instantly. It wasn't my cousin. Instead, a very handsome young man with striking blue eyes stood there, staring at me. Panic surged through me as I realized this wasn't someone I knew. My mind raced, thinking my cousin must have left the door unlocked, allowing this stranger to enter. Frozen with fear, I stood there for what felt like an eternity, trying to figure out how to escape. The only exit was behind him. Gathering my courage, I finally let out a scream. At that moment, the young man started to rise from the floor. Shocked, I watched as he floated upwards, still staring into my eyes. Then, he moved towards the wall, his form shifting and scattering like a dark cloud. As this happened, everything in the storage room began to shake. Paralyzed with fear, I couldn't move. Eventually, I managed to run outside, stumbling in the yard before getting up and sprinting out of the house. I didn't stop until my parents came home. The moment I saw my mother, I ran to her and told her everything. She dismissed it as my imagination, but I was sick for days, screaming whenever someone called my name. Years later, I recounted the story to a spiritual person. She told me that the spirit might have wanted to communicate through me to help him with unfinished business. To this day, whenever I try to turn on a light and it doesn't work, I remember that evening and avoid entering any dark room. I still believe what I saw, and the encounter terrifies me to this day. It makes me wonder if some people we see every day might actually be spirits. What do you think? Was it a spirit or someone from another realm who briefly appeared in mine?